y'all. Thanks for stopping in. So we haven't talked about Bud Light for a while, so let's check this one out. Bud Light may lose 18% of grocery store shelf space after Dylan Mulvaney boycott. So we heard about this last fall, and I don't think they actually lost any shelf space then. But apparently, grocery stores that stock Bud Light are planning to shrink the shelf space allotted to the nation's formerly top-selling beer by nearly 20% in some parts of the country, after sales tanked following a boycott over the advertising with Dylan Mulvaney. If you don't know why by now, the Anheuser-Busch brand, which was knocked off its perch this year by Modelo, well, last year, after more than 2 decades at the top, will be squeezed out as store managers rearrange the alcoholic beverage section to give more precious real estate to better-selling beers, according to Bloomberg News. Anheuser-Busch beers will lose a range of about 10 to 15% of their space nationally as resets start. Jesse Ferber, Chief Strategy Officer for Columbia Distributing, which works with retailers such as Walmart and Target in the Pacific Northwest, told Bloomberg News. Ferber said that while the final numbers won't be known until May or June, he estimates that stores in certain regions of the country could downgrade Bud Light's shelf space by as much as 18%, while in other areas it could be as low as 5%. Molson Coors Brewing Company, whose stable of brands include Coors Light, Miller Lite, and Coors Banquet, expect to see an increase in shelf space of more than 10%. All right, I'm a Coors Light fan, even though I don't drink anymore. Brian Fierro, president of the U.S. sales at Molson Coors, told Bloomberg that more than 50 retailers increased shelf space for Coors Light and Miller Lite by 6 to 7% last summer and fall. Okay, so there was a bit of a shakeup last fall. I never actually got a follow-up to the speculated what could happen as far as Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch losing shelf space when it was originally reported last fall. I believe it was like August, September. An Anheuser-Busch spokesperson told Bloomberg News that the company anticipates small shifts across brands when it comes to shelf space. The spokesperson said that Bud Light and Michelob Ultra, another Anheuser-Busch beer, are the top 2 share of space brands in the beer industry. The ensuing boycott has cost the parent company more than $1 billion in lost sales, according to estimates. Anheuser-Busch InBev's most recent earnings report showed that U.S. revenue declined 17.3% in the fourth quarter and 9.5% for the full year. Last month, AB InBev CEO Michael Dukeris said that Bud Light has been slowly regaining its U.S. market share since last May. The company has refocused its advertising on sporting events and concerts. Despite Bud Light's sales woes, it remains the country's top-selling beer by overall volume, according to Bloomberg. And that's really going to ramp up now that the baseball season is kicked in. And I know things change from year to year, but last year, you couldn't buy a Coors Light or a Yuengling anywhere, it seemed like, unless you went to the very specific kiosks. But if you wanted just a Bud Light, you could get it from the vendor walking around. You could get it from every kiosk in the whole stadium, pretty much, in the one stadium that I went to last year, in my experience. But that's what Anheuser-Busch promised they would do. Going into last summer, they promised that they were going to triple their efforts in marketing to basically buy their way out of the fiasco that they had gotten themselves into. And according to them, they think it's working. This huge UFC sponsorship, they're sponsoring the next few Olympic Games. Sounds like they're out a lot of money on the front end for advertising while still having declined sales numbers. So when you factor in the amount of money that they've spent to dig themselves out, that just adds to their losses, in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Just wanted to give you guys a Bud Light update, considering we covered it a lot last year. And in 3 days, it'll be April 1st, which is the 1-year anniversary of the Dylan can debacle. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.